Jasmin, first of all, this is a really interesting interview for me because I remember watching your videos. I still do. Your skits off the chain, man.
Oh
Big,
my gosh, thank you. Thank you so much.
of course, yes. So, Jasmin, you have really just been inspiring people with your comedy and just your energetic personality for years now. And at what moment did you kind of realize you had a gift for comedy or just kind of being in the limelight?
Honestly, I never thought I was funny. I never thought anything. And so people were like, "Oh, you're so funny." And I'm just like, "What?" Like my personality has always been my personality, even from like a little girl. I've always been shout out, always been outspoken and always been comedic. But I never thought it was funny. I never thought I was funny, until people were like, "Oh, wait, tell them that story." Or because I'm very animated and the way I do things, I move with my whole body. And people just took to me and I never understood it. So no, it's not like I had a plan or anything like that. It was just personality, God given.
That's good. And yeah, that's true. Your personality is it's contagious. Like I said, even just being
Oh,
here, it's just I feel the energy. It's just good vibes all the time.
oh, thank you.
So I gotta ask you, what is the story behind Toya Turnup? Because how did this character kind of just come about?
Oh my gosh, you know what? And I tell the story all the time. Like, I grew up in West Palm Beach, Florida, but I lived in the hood, and my dad, we had like a fixer-upper house, but in the hood nonetheless. So like, I would be outside like on the porch and I would just be watching all the girls and like the women, I would see Toyas at a young age, and just how they would move and groove and their body language and all of this and all of that. And I just remember being like 6 years old and I was just watching them. I was just looking at them and studying them, and subconsciously like Toya was being created like in my mind. And every week I got $10 allowance if I did all my chores, and I would save up and I bought like a little disposable camera, and I would buy some wigs. Like if I really saved up, I would go buy like a little cheap wig, and I would dress up as these characters, and I would just have like my brother or my sister just take disposable pictures with me. And I have to see if my mom still has that photo album of like me dressed up as all these different characters, because like from then I always liked being other people or turning into different characters and things like that, because that's like where I felt the most safe. And I'm one of those people, like I believe that if you're creative, like you're creative from birth, like that's just who you are. It's in your DNA. It's in there somehow, because like even the way I think, the way my mind works, like I thought that it was just normal for me to do all these characters and for me to do these voices and for me to just have these different personalities and things like that. I thought everybody could do it. And I never thought it was different until people started like having me do it, like, "Hey, do this," or like my mom would be like, "Hey, do that for your auntie," or do that, like I always just thought that it was regular. I thought everybody can do it. I never thought that like I was special or different or anything like that. That's just like who I was and who I've always been.
Wow, that's just beautiful. Again, you just never know like what life will have in store for you. And
Mm.
I like that you kind of fell into your purpose as rather than like, chasing it or trying to figure out who you were because it was already designed for you. And so the next question, you are just in your bag lately, girl. I mean, you're on BET Plus, Tyler Perry's sisters, Zatima as the
Yep.
infamous Deja that everybody loves. How does it feel to kind of just transition into the acting world and then now also producing and writing?
Honestly, and I know that I can't say too much about that project, but I will say this: I can't go back. I have to produce everything now. It's like that feeling, and then and I don't want to even say feeling, and dare I say power, because power, that word, can be like negative, but that type of access and power, give it in the right hands of someone as creative as myself, really added to the production. Like just being able to, for your voice to even matter, like when you're a producer, like what you say matters. When you're an actor and you have a suggestion, it's like, if you're good or it's a good suggestion and they like you, they might listen, but they don't have to do anything or make any changes for you. But when you're a producer, it's like you say something, oh, y'all gotta consider that or make it happen and expeditiously, So it was just a different type of feeling and now it's like after having that, it's like I can't go back to just acting or just this. I have to find my way to really produce more projects.
You have a comedy tour coming out, girl, an actual comedy tour, and you are coming to the Virginia Beach area on
Yep.
April 6th. Is this your first time in Virginia Beach? Are you excited? Just tell me, what can people kind of expect?
Well, we kicked it off in Atlanta last weekend, which was really, really fun. Man, Tyler Perry came out. And the people were shook. The people were like, yo, Tyler Perry's in the building. Oh, y'all gotta be on your best behavior. I'm in the green room. I hear like the managers like cursing everybody out, like, make sure you guys are on your best behavior. Tyler Perry's in the building. He's a billionaire. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Cause like in the Black community, Tyler Perry is royalty. Like that's like that is the ultimate W for us. Cause it's like we love Oprah, but Tyler Perry though, like he, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, wow, Tyler Perry came to my show and I had no idea. It was a surprise. I'm like, what? So that was crazy. He had a ball and everybody was just like, oh man. So that kind of gave me it was like, damn, that made me look good a little bit. So the Atlanta show was lit. I go to Baltimore next on April 2nd. And so interesting enough about Virginia Beach, because I also go to Richmond and mid-April, April 19th or April 20th, I believe. The interesting thing about Virginia Beach is that's where I first started. That's where my first time ever on a comedic stage was Virginia Beach Funny Bone. So for me to go back there is very beautiful because I remember when I got that phone call of like, oh, we want Toya Turnup on this lineup. We're putting together this like comedy tour, and I was like, no way, no. And my manager at the time was like, yeah, she can do it because they called her. She was like, yeah, she could do it. Oh, and they're like, oh, you want her to host? Oh, you want her to do a set? Yeah, she could do 30 minutes. Mind you, I've never done anything like that before. So when they called me on the phone, I was like, no way, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. I'm an actress. I'm not a comedian. Like, again, back to my I don't think I'm funny thing. So I'm like, no way. I'm not a comedian. Dare I ever step foot on a comedic stage? That's not my thing. I never want to do stand up. And they were like, well, what if you just host it? And I was just like, I don't know. And they were like, well, and this is how he got me. And he was like, well, if you host it and you're playing your character Toya, technically you're still acting. And I was like, dang. Well, I guess you're right. And the only reason why I did it is because he pitched it to me as if I'm acting. And I love Just Hilarious to death, but she was late and I had to figure it out. I ended up doing 25 minutes of improv, but luckily, I had been taking improv classes already and I'm already like a quick thinker anyways. So, and I feed off the crowd. And when I tell you, I went up there as Toya and I did 25 minutes and I blacked out. I don't even remember anything. They had to record me and show me what I did. And I had the people losing their minds. And I had footage of people falling out over me. And I was like, what? I didn't even remember none of that. I don't even know what happened. The only recollection I have is the videos that someone showed me of what I did. So that way I could turn it into a set or something. I went up there and I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything. So to go back to Virginia Beach and to do it again with the comedian that not discovered me but gave me my first shot is really cool. It's really, really cool.
Wow, that's just like a full circle moment. I know that's just going to be, all the feels are probably going to come back in that moment once you're there. So, Jasmin, we are wrapping up with the last question of this interview. And, aside from your extensive resume and all the amazing things that you have going on, what's next for you? Like, what is your next game plan? I know you can't spill too much, but can you give us a little something as to what the future holds for you in your career?
Wow, well, hopefully way more producing, more producing. I have a lot of amazing scripts that I plan to bring back to life. But outside of my like passion projects and things, you know, and then the show that we briefly talked about, it is two. So for me, the things that I can say without really saying is 2 shows and 1 feature film. That's what's like in 2023. That those are the main things that I'm working on, and then also just like trying to figure out which way I want to go with these. With I'm sitting on gold mines with like the scripts that I have, just seeing what I want to do with those. But the things that are set in stone are the shows and the movie. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Jazz, you are beautiful inside and out. You're super talented. I'm sending you so much peace and blessings and light your way. I'm excited for you, girl.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I received that. I could feel it from the moment I unmuted my Zoom.
Well, thank you so much, my dear.